Hey, what's up guys? It's SR Mori here with another Mistwood Publishing video. But before we get into today's content, just wanted to ask if you could please leave a like down below and subscribe if you haven't already. And one last thing, I just wanted to remind you, if you're not aware, part of why I'm doing this whole channel is to raise awareness for my next novel that I'll be publishing hopefully in the spring with my company Mistwood Publishing, right, which this YouTube channel is named after. So if you want to find out more information, there'll be a link down below as well. You can just Google Veil of Stars Indiegogo or follow the link down below again. And so you'll see Legends of Foster, the Veil of Stars Indiegogo. And what Indiegogo is basically like Kickstarter or GoFundMe, where you're basically, you pledge to give X amount of money. In exchange, you'll get X amount of perks, and it helps me kind of raise money for my book with less risk, right? So I'd already have the money to print the book whenever I go to print it, and you would already have your order made. It's basically kind of like a fancy way to pre-order and just make sure that the book is as high quality as possible. So if you just subscribe either at the bottom or the top here, it will take your email and you'll get updates. And if you end up ordering in the spring, you will get a free bookmark. And who doesn't want that? It's going to be an epic bookmark. It's going to have the artwork you see here with Narbad Strongheart, our main character. So yeah, you definitely probably want to get on that. If you could, please do that. But without further ado, here's today's video. How to draw your book maps if you have terrible handwriting, you have very little artistic skill. This is going to be the first video in a number of videos. In today's video, we'll focus on what I do with bad handwriting, right? Because if you're going to take your map and you're going to put it in your novel, right, which I would suggest you doing because it saves you a lot of money, a lot of communicating with somebody, and it's just a pain in the butt to say, no, this is how you spell it. No, this is where that goes, It's tedious, but it is actually easier to do it yourself. So I'm using like some really big like art paper, and I'm going to scan that at FedEx, right? And then scale it down, and it's going to go in the book, and it's going to look great. In my first book, I vectorized the image, and it just didn't turn out super well. So that's why I'm kind of doing it this way this time. We'll see how it works. One of the big challenges is, the paper is really big, but when you shrink it down, you still want those words to be readable, right? So there needs to be, the letters need to be big enough to where when it gets shrunk down, they'll still be able to tell what that says. And we'll see if it ends up working out. If I have to completely redo it all, that would be a real pain in the butt. But that is a possibility, and this series will kind of chronicleize, is that a word? The process of doing that. So in this video, I'm going to be using a typeface, right? And a typeface is not a font because fonts are copyrighted and you don't want to do that. A typeface, technically, if you use a typeface, then when you trace it, it creates its own unique version of it, which can't be copyrighted, right? But I'm not really using the typeface for a unique design so much as I'm using it to kind of give my terrible handwriting a template to follow, right? So I'm not really going for any specific design. I found a very kind of generic looking font, and I'm kind of just using it, well, it's not font, typeface. I'm kind of just using it to try to make my handwriting not so bad, and it's worked pretty well. But here it goes. It's sped up quite a bit, but I think I explained a little bit in the beginning, and then it will fast forward it like really quickly through the rest of it. Yeah. All right, so here we are working on the Legends of Foster map, which will go in the book once I scan it and everything. Got my L8 here. Yeah. Gotta keep fueled. And I love this stuff. So yeah, my handwriting is terrible, right? So I have to go through and kind of like do these words very, let's do the words very meticulously, and and with the help of a typeface. It's very important that you use a typeface because fonts are copyrighted, and although they're not enforced right now, you don't want that on your plate if it doesn't have to be. So I'm using a typeface, which is just a collection of different letters. It does not have a specific, you can't download it to Microsoft Word and use it. So I can't just type out Ragnarok fields. I have to go through with this thing and use this piece of paper, right, with the different letters. Now this, I didn't actually copy that because then I learned that it was against the rules. But yeah, if you use a typeface, which is basically what this is, you can claim it, you're tracing as a unique version of it. So it's not, you're not going to get in any trouble for using it. Now you probably can't tell, but I have the words already written down on the page so that I know where I want to put the letters, And again, I'm doing this because my handwriting is like unlegible. So now it is harder when it is higher up on the map because you really got to just dedicate to the leaning over thing, which after a while can really hurt your back pretty bad. Now I'll go over this with marker, or pen, whichever I end up doing. And let's see, next is R. And then it will be like what you would call inked. Which will further differentiate this from the original typeface, which is what you want. You have to make sure that I need my ruler. That's what I need.